First and foremost, how excited are you? Well, have you played at the Stoop before? I was just trying to work that out earlier, trying to work out if you've played.
Nah, I've been TR there a couple of times, but I haven't played there yet, so really looking forward to it, to be honest. Yeah, can't wait.
And what about your feelings on the season so far? For you, came on the second half, had a big influence in the first game, and then second game, I'll show you stuff as well.
Yeah, it's obviously only 2 games into the first 13 weeks, blocks of games in straight. So, but as a team, there's a lot of work on. There's also stuff we can get better. But in the same breath, I think we scored 8 tries in 2 weeks and taken 6 points out of it. So while we know there's a lot to improve on, take those small wins while we get them as well. And personally, it's just, I guess, as a 10-game driver, if you're doing your best for the team and your best thing, usually that's pretty critical in the team going well. So yeah, all the boys around me making that easy at the moment.
Yeah, you mentioned the number of tries. I think historically Ospreys have been criticised for not scoring enough tries. Is that a bit more? Is that an aim this season to score more tries, or is it just it's happened that way that you have?
It's definitely something we've spoken about. Yeah, we've 100% spoken about it, but then at the same time, I think it's just a byproduct of hard work in the pre-season and boys getting their fitness levels up really high so they can be doing those sort of repeat efforts constantly throughout the game. But like we had a long old pre-season, so that we really were able to break down, I guess, last season and the seasons before, to be honest, before I was even here, and analyse what we want to work on and sort of be really precise. So it's definitely something we've noted and we want to improve on.
Yeah, that precision was quite evident in some of the tries you scored on the weekend, wasn't it? That Morgan Williams try is, it's already been touted as an early try of the season contender, isn't it?
Oh, there you go. I didn't know that, but that's good to hear. Like I said, boys' fitness levels. I think we went through maybe 4 pairs of hands there. We had countless boys backing up there, just ready to I guess, set up a great team try, like you said, in contention for try of the year. So it's probably just credit to the S&C work and everyone's saying, I guess, fit and healthy. Like I alluded to, 13-week block. That's going to be kind of key.
Yeah. On this weekend, it's going to be a tough challenge, isn't it? We've already seen them, perform particularly well already as the season started.
Yeah, it is, but to be honest, I know it's cliche, but I don't think you get too many easy games in the URC. Like, I think with attack group this year, we've had a really good focus on 80% on us and 20% on the opposition. As long as we're doing our principles and our roles and everything right, I think that puts us in a good place for the weekend. There's so many, it is different changes in rugby, and they can put out a different team or new tactics. I think us having a majority focus on ourselves and what we can control has been really positive these last 2 weeks. And then you see in games whether you do see what they're doing, you can change your tactics a little bit in. But I think that's something, especially with the younger squad, just focusing on ourselves at the moment has been beneficial. So I think we'll keep looking to do that.
Yeah. Focus on you're dovetailing quite nicely with Owen Williams at the moment. The two of you playing, similarly but also differently in different strengths. Can you speak about that partnership you've got going on? Yeah,
I really like playing with Owen, to be honest. He's obviously been around a little bit longer than me. I'd say a fair bit longer, but he's really good. He's always probably finds it pretty annoying when I was just picking his brain, sort of similar to, I guess, a Stevie Myler last year. But for me, kind of just watching what he does and how he will break down a team or analyse things, even simple stuff like work ethic in the gym, is a good one for me to sort of mirror my game off. And then, like you say, sort of, we know Welsh rugby squad depth at the minute isn't massive, so having boys that can get on the park consistently is handy. So like sort of flipping in, flipping out, that sort of stuff is definitely good for the squad. And then again, pushing each other to perform. If one's performing better than the other, you don't want to be sort of dragging the boat. You want to be pushing the top. So I think that's kind of happening at the moment.
Yeah, you played with them. You've obviously played 10. Obviously competed for the 10 jersey as well. Do you enjoy playing that 15 role? Is that something that you're doing because you have the opportunity to, and you want to be out there on the pitch, but ideally you want to see yourself as a 10 going forward?
Yeah, I see myself as a 10, but in saying that, I'll put my hand up for anywhere by the. Actually, that's such a lie. I won't put myself for anywhere in the forwards, but I'll put myself up for anywhere to play if I'm getting on the field. And I guess my skill sets and I guess size is kind of suited to 15, especially the way we want to play. If we can get me and on the field with 2 ball players, it works. So something I'm really enjoying. It gives me another perspective on the game, another thing to sort of think about in if I am playing 10 or how I want to unlock defences depending on what their 15 is sort of doing. I guess once you've done it, it's easier to sort of understand the mindset and the thoughts behind it. But no, I'm really enjoying it at the moment, and it's good, another little challenge, I guess.
Yeah, you said earlier about picking Owen Williams' brain. Has Dan Edwards been picking your brain? Is that the sort of chain that's going on at the moment?
Yeah, Dan's he's a good young little player. And I think he'll be a freak when he comes on. But no, he is good. He's definitely stepped up in the last 6 months or so in terms of, you can tell he's wanting to learn and kind of that sort of critical thinking aspect of the game. He's definitely asking more questions, whether it's to me or to O's, and yeah, like it shows on the field, especially when he's playing for Swansea. He's tearing it up most weeks, I think.
You call him a freak then? I assume that's...
Compliment, that's a compliment.
Yeah.
Sorry, clarify that. Southern Hemisphere, that's a good one.
In what way, what about him excites you as a fellow 10? What do you admire in his game, perhaps?
I think the way he's just always ready to attack. I guess probably when you go to senior rugby, you do have to pull the reins back on and think about situational sort of stuff, but if there's an opportunity there, he's going to take it and run with it. And that's just something that really impresses me in training, sort of the youthfulness of that. Not youthfulness, I'm only 23, so I can't really use that, but it's something I like watching. He'll be brave in his decision makings, and when he sees something, he'll really go for it. And I think, yeah, that's the way I like to see rugby. I like it being exciting, opposed to sort of slowing down and kicking threes the whole time, so that's something I think he's really got the strength.
This weekend, obviously, you're playing, your home side, but in Stoop, expecting a bit of animosity in the crowd? Are you expecting a more South Africa-based crowd?
To be honest, mate, I haven't really thought into it whatsoever. That's probably the first time I thought about it, but I mean, even on the weekend, all the supporters with the blue hats on for tips, you notice a massive difference when they're there, so I hope we get as many supporters down as we can. It's awesome having the noise there and the crowd behind you, especially times when we get to the 22, you can really kind of feel it as that 16th man, I guess they say. So hopefully.
A bit about your forwards, because they're going to have a bit of a huge effort on the weekend, as always, I suppose, but particularly against a big South African pack.
Yeah, I think Maurice Davies put it pretty well today. It's sort of a man test against the South Africans. You know what they're going to bring, and they're just going to come round the corner, try to bash the door down, physicality with everything. So it's just for all backs and forwards, but obviously the forwards have it a lot tougher, and just stepping up and facing that, being able to stand up against that, really. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and South Africa, so I don't know if you've seen the scenes in South Africa this morning when Khaleesi's come back. Have you seen those in the airport?
No, I haven't seen them yet. But I'm guessing it's nuts. Yeah.
It's absolutely nuts. The season as a whole, have you discussed ambitions, or is it, you mentioned blocks there, you mentioned, I think it was a 14-week block you said. Is that the first goal that you're getting to, and you've got an idea of how many points you'd like to get by that point? Is that something you've discussed?
I wouldn't say specifically in points, but to be honest, most of the pre-season was with a lot of the internationals way. It was a really young group coming through. It was a chance for other boys to sort of step up and show their hand in leadership and drive sort of things. Probably wouldn't say it was so much looking forward to this season, but it was boys taking real accountability in whether it's pre-season habits or work-ons from last year. We know when the international boys come back in a few weeks or whenever that is, they're going to bring a wealth of experience and they'll be able to sort of drive a lot of stuff. But I think it's so far just been a good opportunity for the sort of, I guess, not even younger, but just different boys to kind of step up and have their say or drive things that they think are key for the team.
Do you count yourself in that? You said you're only 23, but fly half is that sort of leadership role as well? Yeah, definitely.
I think, if your 10 doesn't have a say, you're probably not going to be going very well. So I think it's probably easier for me than it is for other boys my age that I've always been thrust into the position of having to talk or direct a team around or whatever. So it's something I feel comfortable with, but then again, it's always something you want to work on. And like you say before, sort of looking at what Stevie Myler would say or do last year, or same as Gareth or same as O's, sort of learning on how they talk and when they talk, and even just action stuff like that is always something to be learning and pushing forward with.
Do you find you talking to? Is it clear signals you're trying to send? Then how do you go about sending those messages across? Is it in play-by-play direction, or is it a simple right? We're doing this. We're doing 4 plays and then kick, or something like that?
To be honest, there's so much in it. It's probably a bit of everything, really. There's subtleties to it. If it is play-by-play stuff, different ways that boys like to, or it's probably best for them to receive feedback or criticism, I guess. And then, like you say, there's overall game plans and stuff like that you need to be really clear on. So when boys are fatigued or under the pump or anything like that, it's there's no second guessing. It's just we're all moving one direction.